world. Vicky, I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry, baby. Anybody in this world don't deserve it.
I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry, baby. Jenny, I miss you, Jenny. I love you, Jenny. What's poppin'? What's goody? Cool with y'all boys. Look, man, we got another video, bro. It's called Guard Helps Killer Inmate Escape Prison. You know what I'm saying? Hey, like the video, subscribe. Road to 20K. Help your boy out. Bro, my nose is running, bro. Like, running. We better get into the video. Let's rock, man.
It's the 29th of April, 2022. CCTV records prison supervisor Vicky enter through a back door. Half a minute later, she comes back out with a prisoner. Casey White, a 6'9" giant of a criminal serving 75 years for attempted murder. They quickly leave in the car as police scramble to make sense.
Hold on. 75 years for attempted murder. Bro, I just watched another video, bro. They got 30 years for an actual murder. I don't get it.
The situation. Vicky, a prison supervisor with a 2-decade-long career and perfect record, just disappeared with a dangerous criminal. Police assumed that she was forced or manipulated into helping him escape. But that's when new evidence came to light, showing that she might have planned the entire thing. As a nationwide manhunt began, police would realize the rabbit hole went deeper than anyone expected, leading them down a dark path, ending with Vicky found dead with a bullet in her head.
Vicky, stay with her! Vicky!
It's April 29th, 2022, and prison officer Vicky has just told her work colleagues that she's taking a prisoner to a psychological evaluation at a local courthouse.
So you telling me, bro, she helped this nigga get out of prison and she ended up with a bullet in her head? I don't think bro was supposed to escape at all.
But something isn't right, as she's transporting the prisoner alone, despite rules mandating prisoners must be escorted by 2 officers at a time. But because of her senior position as a supervisor, nobody stops her. And it would be 6 hours before police realize that Vicky and the prisoner are never coming back. Desperate for clues, police start looking into the man that Vicky escaped with. It was Casey White, a man serving 75 years in prison for domestic violence, home invasion, murder, and brutally attacking a man with an axe. But there was one crime that stood out to police even more. 7 years prior to this, Casey had abused and manipulated his then-girlfriend to a point where she tried to escape from Casey's vicious hands. After they successfully made it to her friend's house, Casey would break into the house with 2 guns in full intent to murder them both. Luckily, they both escaped and survived his vicious attack. But that's when Casey fled the scene and began a series of carjackings across several states, until finally getting into a tense standoff with multiple police officers.
Casey, put the gun down. Let me see your hands, man. Put the gun down, Casey. No.
He said, I ain't putting them down.
Casey, put the gun down. Just relax a little bit.
Trophy is that or tell her to watch you.
Hey, Casey.
And they even know.
I'm gonna get you a sun drive if you'll be still. Just be calm. You don't got no more gun on you, dude. No, you got to plug him out.
It's unusual, but the cops rolled a drink and a pack of cigarettes towards Casey, hoping this would calm him down and avoid a shootout.
Bruh, you talking to a giant, bro. You trying to bribe him with some chewing tobacco and a sun drop soda. I don't know what a sun drop soda is. I'm thinking about a sun kiss, bruh.
Miraculously, this actually worked, and the cops were able to move in and make an arrest. His interrogation gave cops an even clearer view into just how insane this man was.
I've been trying to wait just to kill her ever since. I couldn't wait no longer. I had to do it tonight.
Do you regret what you did tonight?
I regret I didn't kill him.
Police now had a clear
I
picture
regret
of
I
who
didn't
Vicky
kill her.
just helped escape prison. But how does Vicky fit into all of this? She works at a completely different prison, and there's no plans for Casey to ever see outside these walls again.
Oh my
well,
gosh.
1 year later, Casey confessed to a murder, resulting in him being moved to a different prison. This kicked off a series of events that would eventually result in Vicky's death. The
this
murder
nigga
that
big
Casey
show.
confessed to was a 4-year-old cold case. It's unclear
Oh.
why Casey owned up to it now, but he was able to give specific details that nobody but the killer could have known. And after a short trial, he was quickly transported to a new prison, the same one where Vicky worked. Vicky is 56 and has been divorced for several years
Oh
and
my
put her heart
gosh.
and soul into her job. She was a model employee and popular among her colleagues, but her life had become boring and lonely. She wanted to change. And when
So
Casey
she
showed
decided
up,
to do
that's
that?
exactly what she got. They slowly began to talk more and developed a connection. They
No
bonded over
way.
their shared last name and began to think that they were destined to be together.
Oh
She
my
started coming in on her
gosh.
days off and was noticeably happier. Despite having a great life on paper, Vicky had become enchanted by her feelings for Casey and was ready to throw it all away to be with a dangerous criminal. But how can this happen? Well,
Man, oh, my bad, my bad.
it
my
turns
bad, my
out
bad.
it's not as rare as you might think. Some people are attracted to dangerous people. They know they could kill them at any moment, but feel
Man.
special knowing that they choose not to. On top of that, Vicky had started to feel trapped in her day-to-day life and
Vicky
as though she
dumb.
had nothing to live for. If she could make a break with Casey, it'd at least be exciting, even if it did mean throwing everything
Yeah.
away. Well,
Bruh, she looked like a Meat Canyon.
see,
like,
it'd at least be
cartoon,
exciting,
bruh. Look.
even if it did mean throwing everything away.
She looked
While
like a
Casey
Meat
was
Canyon
serving at
cartoon,
Lauderdale,
bruh.
Vicky allowed him unrestricted access to parts of jail that prisoners aren't normally allowed to see, including areas that aren't covered by security cameras. Many speculate this is where the pair were intimate with each other and formed their plan to escape. Even at this point,
Are you
Vicky still
serious?
had no idea that this would turn out to be the
Oh.
worst mistake of her entire life. 3 days before their escape, they
Yo.
decided to do a test run after Vicky told her colleagues that Casey had an appointment with a judge at the courthouse. Of course, there was no appointment, and they just sat in her patrol car for 9 minutes before returning. But now they know this works, and they're ready to make preparations for the real thing.
That's
2 days before their
crazy.
escape, they're spotted on camera passing notes. It's thought that this was them discussing the final part of their escape plan, but by the time this footage was discovered, it was already too late. By April 29th, 2022, everything was in place, and they're ready to make their escape. As Vicky holds a senior post at the prison, she has certain powers that she's about to take advantage of. She arranges to send 12 inmates and 5 deputies to court on the day of the escape, leaving
Whoa.
her as the last remaining officer in the prison with transport privileges. She then tells her bosses that Casey has to be taken for a mental health evaluation. Looking at the surveillance footage, it's clear something was up. Vicky has her firearm with her, something that is
Dang.
strictly forbidden inside the prison walls. She's also walking in front of Casey instead of behind him, showing she trusts him not to harm her. By helping Casey to escape, esteemed prison officer Vicky has thrown everything she had away, and in
That's
one pivotal moment
sad,
has
bro. That's so
become a
sad.
criminal.
Vicky's always been a good girl I went to school with. It's got to be other people involved, and Vicky's just a scapegoat.
No,
you knew her, you
bro,
loved
it's
her.
just Vicky,
I feel like
bro.
if she had anything to do with it, it was definitely love.
Vicky and Casey casually
that's
walk
what
out
you
of the
call
prison
love,
into
though?
a patrol car and drive away to freedom. It took 6 hours before anyone noticed they're missing. When the prison
Whoa.
calls the courthouse to see what's taking so long, they're told that there is no appointment, and they come to the horrible realization that Casey has made a break for freedom.
No.
To evade the authorities, they quickly ditch the patrol car and flee the state, and the cops now have no clue where they are, where they're going, or how to find them, marking the start of an 11-day manhunt that will span the nation. On day 1 of Vicky and
11-day
Casey's escape, the
manhunt.
cops try to find clues at Vicky's home, but she's nowhere to be seen.
Oh
In
my
fact,
goodness.
she doesn't even own the house anymore.
Oh
As
my
part of her
goodness.
plan, she sold her house for extremely cheap. With the money, she bought vehicles, guns,
Oh.
and most suspiciously, men's clothing. This is the first
So you telling me you sold your house for this man to buy guns, clothes, and cars? My nigga.
first indication the cops have that Vicky
Brother,
doesn't intend on coming
what?
back and is ready to start a new life with Casey. Things don't get any better for
Don't even make
detectives when the
sense.
patrol vehicle they used to escape is found abandoned at a local shopping mall. And even worse, there's no surveillance footage covering that area of the parking lot, so they don't even know which direction they went.
Oh, wow.
But on day 2 of the manhunt, a tip-off from her family blows this case wide open, as it's revealed Vicky has been renting a storage unit. Police are able to locate the storage unit and discover that she was renting it with a burner phone. But despite their best effort to track this new number, the cops came up with nothing. But the existence of this new phone is the first solid evidence that cops have showing Vicky planned this all along and was actually a
knew it.
willing participant
I
instead of
knew
a
it. I
hostage.
knew it. I
You get the sense
knew
they
it.
were actually Vicky discovered he was not forcing her in any way.
Right. No, he was not forcing her.
She
It was
wanted
a
to do
mutual
it.
Relationship.
You'd
That's
think
crazy.
that this would help the investigation, but things only get more insane and confusing from here on out. After realizing that they're essentially back to square one, the cops return to the shopping mall where they found the abandoned patrol car and decide to comb through all the surveillance footage from the days leading up to the event. That's when they spot Vicky a few days before the escape, parking a car in a nearby parking lot. And this isn't her usual car either. It's one she bought only a couple days earlier, a 2007 Ford Edge that the cops quickly realized had to be their getaway vehicle.
That's crazy.
But when police went back to the parking lot and the supposed getaway vehicle was still there, they realized that Vicky had left a decoy.
Yo,
Police
Vicky,
had just lost
Vicky
their only
tough.
clue,
Vicky
while giving
tough.
Vicky and Casey a 5-day head start.
Vicky in that mug already got stuff set in stone. She already got plays. That's why she. Hey, shout out Vicky. She dumb, but she's smart at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
But since they abandoned the Ford, the cops assumed that they have to have found another vehicle in the area, and lo and behold, they quickly picked up another lead. A homeowner nearby told them he sold his Ford F-150 pickup truck to a man who approached his house on the day Vicky and Casey went missing.
No.
That man is described as being around 6 feet, 9 inches tall, and looked exactly like the picture he was shown. Now all they have to do is find that Ford F-150 and bring this
They
manhunt
not
to
that
an
smart.
end.
Never mind.
Thanks
They
to
not
another
that
lead,
smart.
they're closing in. On day 6, the
Why
owner
would
of a
they
car
make
wash
him-
in Indiana noticed something
my
strange. A Ford F-150 had been parked in one of the cleaning bays for an unusual amount of time, and he suspects this vehicle has been abandoned. Unfortunately, this is before a search was initiated for the truck, but something's still not right. This pickup truck is far too nice to have been dumped by anyone sane, and the
Man.
owner quickly grew suspicious. In order to find out, he checks out the car wash surveillance footage, and what he finds will help the cops finally capture their 2 fugitives. That's Casey getting out of the pickup, and he's acting very strangely. He's waiting for Vicky, and she's in that car driving just out of shot. When Casey gets in the new vehicle, leaving their pickup and driving off, the owner knows they're up to no good and calls 911.
There's a truck been sitting in my bay since yesterday at 3 o'clock. I looked at my cameras and the guy's kind of suspicious. It's a Ford F-150 four-door truck. It's blue in color. It's got Tennessee license plates on it. And I've got him on camera.
The next day, cops arrive at the car wash and initiate a search of the truck.
Is it returns to a Dodge?
Yep. Yeah, that's fine.
But that's just wild, though. How you left a? They bought 2 cars, huh? A Ford F-150 and that 2007.
With nothing to go off of, the cops quickly leave the scene and the
Wow.
pickup is towed away. It takes 4 days for this vital lead to get back to detectives, but when it
Same
does,
tattoo,
they
same
drop
everything.
and head straight to Evansville on day 10 of the hunt.
So basically, bro, they thought since he shaved his beard, you wasn't gonna notice a 6'9" nigga in the in the real world, after a 6'9" just got arrested and put into that city after being transferred because he murdered somebody and then admitted to the murder. My nigga, why would he even be seen in public?
They're
Shout
due
out
to
Vicky,
arrive
man.
at the car wash at 9 a.m.,
Shout
but
out
fail to
Vicky.
show up on time, frustrating the car wash owner so much that he takes matters into his own hands and calls the local press.
So then, 9:30, they're not here. So I get on the phone to Fox News. I said, y'all want a story? Yeah, we like a story. I said, I got one. So I got a convict over at my car
What
wash.
he
I got
know
him on
about?
camera. He said, you talking about the one in Kentucky?
How he get
I said,
Fox
no, I'm
News?
talking about the one in Alabama with the girl. I said, okay, we'll be right there. They showed up. They got there 10 minutes before the marshals.
U.S. Marshals
Wow.
arrive during the media frenzy, and when they take a look at the surveillance footage, they realize they've found the car Vicky and Casey could still be driving.
No.
The Cadillac. And one that Vicky and Casey think is completely unknown to the cops.
No.
It seems like their days on the run are numbered. But even with the leads they have, they come up with nothing. And the cops are starting to realize their fugitives could be anywhere in the country. But as it turns out, they're
down the
closer to
street.
home than anyone thinks.
I'm knowing, bro.
Back in
I knew they
Evansville,
didn't
on
go
day
far, bro.
11,
That's
a cop is
stupid.
on his way home from a long shift when he sees a familiar-looking vehicle parked outside a Motel 41.
Oh, wow.
It looks like the same Cadillac from the car wash, and
Same
he hastily
color and
takes down the
everything.
license plate. The problem is, the license plate of the Cadillac seen at the car wash was never seen, so they have no way of knowing if it's the same vehicle. But they do have the license plate of the recovered F-150, so grasping at straws, they decide to run that through their license plate reader, and when they do, they strike gold. Several traffic cameras have picked up the F-150, and following it in nearly every shot is a Cadillac. A
No
Cadillac
way.
whose license plate perfectly matched the one at Motel 41 right in front of them.
Bro, y'all not getting any crime getting dealt in today's age, bro. Cameras are everywhere. And if the police want to really detect this, bro, they go win every time, bro. You not getting away. You not getting away, bro. This is not the 40s, the 50s, like the 60s with no cameras, bro. You go get caught, bro. You do the crime, boy, you better have every camera that you think corrupted, because you going to jail.
Finally, by sheer luck,
going
the
to
cops
jail,
have
bro.
found their fugitives. All they have to
They
do
going
now
to
is
prison.
bring them in. First, deputy marshals find strategic positions around the motel. They're all in plain clothes and unmarked vehicles, hoping to be as covert as possible. But while the cops surround them, Vicky and Casey are in room 150 watching the TV in horror right as the discovery of the Ford
You serious?
F-150
They
hits
chilling
the
watching
news.
TV?
The plan was to bring Vicky and Casey in quietly, but before they get a chance to put their plan into action, Vicky walks out of the hotel room and throws a bag into the Cadillac. She's followed by Casey, and even though they're in disguise, there's no mistaking Casey White's massive frame. Casey gets behind the wheel,
Oh, wow.
and the Cadillac takes off. The cops' plan has
Hello. He said, her what?
its massive frame. Casey, and even though they're in disguise, there's no mistaking Casey White's massive frame. Casey gets behind the wheel, and the Cadillac takes
Bruh,
off. The
hey,
cops'
she
plan has been
big, bruh.
completely
She
foiled
big,
once
bruh.
again. But they've got a backup. They're going to follow
massive
them
frame.
and try to box them in to avoid a confrontation. But before they get a chance, they realize they've been spotted. Casey turns onto US Highway 41 and hits the accelerator, taking
Oh,
the cops on a chase
shoot.
across traffic and through parking lots
Oh.
until he manages to make a break for freedom by driving straight through an open field. At around the same time,
shoot.
police dispatch receives a call from none other than Vicky herself, and it gives you an idea of how terrifying this chase really is.
They really on the chase.
Airbags are going on. Let's get out. Hotel.
A police vehicle forces Casey to drive straight into a ditch, and this
Oh my
pursuit
God.
is brought to a sudden halt. But it's far from over, as cops know the pair are armed and could open fire at any point in some kind of Bonnie and Clyde inspired shootout.
Crash out. Any crash out?
Bro crashed in a ditch, bro. Where Vicky at? Oh, that's Vicky? Oh, that's Casey. Where Vicky at?
Please, my wife. That's the best woman in the world right there. Please, that's the best woman in the world. Vicky, I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry, baby. Anybody in this world don't deserve it.
I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry, baby. Jenny, I miss you, Jenny. I love you, Jenny. Jenny. Oh my God. Floor's gone.
But y'all ain't gonna believe me. I'm gonna say I killed her. Just like y'all say I killed everybody else.
Finally, after 11 days, the manhunt has come to an end, and they've got Casey unharmed in handcuffs. But Vicky met a much more devastating end. Just 2 weeks ago, she was an upstanding member of society, an esteemed prison officer respected by those around her. Now, she's a fugitive, laying in a criminal's stolen car, conscious, but with devastating injuries.
She shot herself?
David, she grabbed him. No, she's good. She still got it in her hand.
No.
Medic right here, medic.
And she said,
Get back. Still in her hand? Yes. Yeah, it's in her hand. Still breathing. I gotta break this center up here.
You go in?
Well, I think we can reach in and get the gun. That'd probably be easier in the windshield.
See a little open.
she went in there and really shot her. Bro, after crashing,
It's opening. It's opening.
Gosh.
You got me? Yep. I'm gonna go for the gun first. All right, pull me out. All right, I got it.
She's been shot in the head, and Casey claims she took her own life. When cops get a better look, they find her finger is still on the trigger of the gun. Later that day, Vicky was pronounced dead in a nearby hospital.
Are you
We'll never really know what the two had planned for their life together after their escape. Whether they wanted to go off the grid and settle down, or live the rest of their lives on the run. Well, it turns out, Casey never planned to keep Vicky around at all. He described her as a liability. As someone that didn't have the mind for this sort of thing. It's likely that she would have been ditched shortly after this point, or killed by Casey anyway.
And then Vicky really thought she was the one for him. In reality, she wasn't nothing but a prop. She was a prop for him. And she changed her whole life, had a good job, good life, just so she can get a thrill, and she shot herself at the end of the day. Oh my gosh.
He was found guilty of first-degree prison escape and sentenced to life behind bars. He'll be 98 years old before he gets a chance at parole.
Yeah,
so this terror of a man will likely be off the streets until the day he dies.
That's crazy. That's insane. That's really insane. It just throws me off, bro. She changed her whole life just so she can have a risky. I don't know. It wasn't love, bro. That's not love. That's dumb. That's dumb. Like I don't know how you even think about doing that, bro. But that's Vicky. Shout out Vicky, man. Shout out Vicky. Yeah. R.I.P. Vicky. Oh yeah. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Hey man, if you enjoyed that video, bro, go ahead and give it a like, give it a subscribe. You know what I'm saying? And then stay blessed, stay positive, and take care of yourself, man. I'm about to take me a little allergy pill, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm out this thing, man. Y'all stay blessed. I'm gone.